3, 2, 1.
My name is Nick. I'm a full-time trader and entrepreneur. We put out tons of stuff for free for traders. These are real trades. This is real money. I'm putting my money on the line. This is going to be a live trading video here, locking in over $1,000 on this trade. Wow, I'd love to get in on this. Technical insights that really look good to me. Here we go. We're live. Well, hello guys. Welcome back to another live stream. And it's good to be back. It's been a few days since I've been doing the streams. I had to take a little bit of a break. I had a wedding to attend and I was sort of out of town to do the live streams for a few days. And then yesterday I had a crazy thing where I had to go run an errand early in the morning, which caused me to be late and not be able to do a stream. So I'm sorry if you've been waiting for me to come back. I am back here today. We'll be here until... Well, actually, what's today? Today is Tuesday. I'll be doing 2 streams this week, and then I'm taking another break because I'm going on vacation. So I'm sorry for the lack of streams. I hope you guys don't mind it too much. We'll still have plenty of content coming up on the YouTube channel throughout that time. We've sort of thought ahead on a lot of things and planned out a bunch of videos. So you'll still be getting plenty of content, but I will be taking a vacation next week. So it will be an interesting next week. So we'll have plenty of stuff for you guys, even though the streams won't be here. But even if you guys are watching this at a later point, or you're sitting here with me live right now, we have a whole second channel with a whole bunch of other people who are still going to be going live next week on our second channel, A1 Trading, which is my trading company or our media company that we share all sorts of stuff. So if you're really hurting for live streams going into next week, I want to encourage you, go follow at A1 Trading on Instagram. You can also follow us on YouTube. We'll have plenty of other live streams coming up for you to watch and be a part of next week. So for today, though, I'm here so we can hang out and we can do some stuff on this stream. So thank you very much for being here. Ivan says, who should take over Trader Nick's channel? That's a good question. Maybe, Ivan, we could get you doing another stream. Hey, you know what? That would be fun. What if Ivan was to do a stream on my channel? It might be possible. Might be possible, Ivan. We can think about it. That would be fun, though. I don't know. We'd have to see how that would work. But I know we could, because we do all of our stream hosting we have a producer who sets it up and all that sort of stuff. So it would be possible. We just have to think about how to do that. Emily, maybe, but she's not really a trader. She's more of the support team. But anyways, thank you guys for being here. Welcome back to the streams. Today we are doing some stuff, and the dollar is still red hot. We're still pushing higher here on the DXY. So we're going to talk about the dollar. We're going to talk about going into the end of this week and going into next week, what we could think about with the dollar. So I am still bullish on the dollar. I'm still until things really change for the worse, I am just bullish on the dollar. And it makes trading really simple, because I've just been buying and basically buying the same currency pair over and over. I've been trading dollar Swiss like crazy. And so maybe I'll show you a little bit of a trade that I'm in right now. But first, let's switch over to the full view and we can see what's going on here with DXY. So here's the US dollar currency index. If you're a newer trader and you're not sure what DXY, what actually this is, so DXY basically it is a look at the dollar against several other currencies at the same time. You're looking at the euro, you're looking at the pound, the yen, etc., all at the same time. So what this does is it says, okay, here's the dollar against several currencies, and basically an average or a summary of how it's doing compared to other ones, showing how much demand or supply there is for the dollar on a big scale. And we can see the demand seems to be rising. You have higher lows coming into this market, and again, another higher low seemingly towards the start of this week. We've already seen a nice pop from the dollar. Can that rally continue? Well, we set a new high. So to be completely fair to the dollar bulls, you can see we broke through the high. Now we didn't stay there, so we'll have to watch to see if that can if we can get back above that and stay above that today. But the point is, the dollar does not seem to want to quit. It doesn't seem like it wants to die easy, right? This trend to the upside seems like just a natural place for it to go is to continue higher. And I want to show you sort of this concept here. So this is something that I was looking at earlier today with the dollar. If we can get the breakout of this, I think, a lot of times people will say, Oh, it looks like it's getting tired here. It's looking like the end of the trend is coming. It's probably going to reverse. And I just think that it's a really exhausting way to go at something like this, which is just a huge flow of demand into the dollar, right? If you think about what's going on here, you have on a big scale institutional money, investors, commercial people who are moving money into the dollar. There's just a flow of demand into the dollar right now. And to say that, oh yeah, that's going to end right here and it's going to reverse and that's all going to change, to me just sounds like an uphill battle, right? I think that the path of least resistance is to spot that, okay, demand here for the dollar is there and likely going to stay relevant as it has done for several times. Now, that's not a guarantee that we're going to see a huge breakout to the upside, but I would say that it's more likely, in my view, in my opinion, both on the fundamentals and the technicals, more likely to head higher than to reverse aggressively, right? So, if you're looking at a reversal of the dollar, what could you look out for? Well, again, I think the odds are a little bit stacked against you. But if you were to see something like this, if you were to see a breakout underneath this structure of upward sort of trajectory, right, where we're seeing those higher lows, if you were to see something that sort of broke that concept, maybe a new low, right? Maybe a breakout of this trend line, then possibly you could start looking for some bearish outlooks on the dollar. But again, I just think it's more likely, in my view, that it goes higher than it does reverse. It doesn't mean it can't reverse. I just think that if you're looking at this thing and you're saying, okay, the trajectory of this is up, higher lows, strong demand for the dollar across the board right now. Could it go sideways or negative? Sure, it could, right? It could think about it for a while, it could consolidate, but the chances of a strong reversal here are less likely, in my opinion, than a continued float to the upside. That's my thoughts. Okay. No, now where would that be? A point to actually get involved with the dollar? Well, you could look for something like this. Right. I like this idea. A break and retest kind of concept could be good. I am already long on the dollar, so I do already have positions. I'm looking for this to hopefully break out in support of my position. Let's take a look at that now, just so I can show you what I am currently sitting on. I've got a USD Chf trade. It's nothing incredible or super impressive, but I just want to show you sort of what I'm thinking. So the dollar Swiss looks a lot like the DXY. So here's dollar Swiss. It's been hugging this trend line really well, and I liked the way it was doing that. So I ended up taking a position here to the long side after the rejection candle on this bar. So price rejected that area and popped off of the lows. And now you could see I jumped into that trade, got some follow through. And at this point, I do have my trade set to break even. So if this thing does reverse, if we see a big rejection, which I actually marked this area, so what I did this morning, you'll see it in the live trading video. I am filming this trade. So at some point, you'll see this trade on the YouTube channel. But what I pointed out this morning is that, okay, we got the pop that I was looking for, right? That rejection candle held very nicely on dollar Swiss and then followed through, right? We saw that big push back up to resistance. Now the question though is, can we break out of this resistance, or is this resistance going to give us a lot of struggle? And it does seem like at first here, at the very least for now, it does seem like it is being responded to by the market. So that's why what I did is I said, okay, well, at this point, I'm going to move my stop to break even and just lock in the trade. So I'm floating $50, which is, very little, but I'm floating some money on the trade. Ideally, though, this trade could pop through these levels and cause, a much bigger move. So my idea when looking at this, let me actually do this. I'm going to draw this as a zone as well. I feel like that'd be a little cleaner. So again, lots of rejection in this area previously. So for me as a bull, I would like to see this thing break out. I'd like to see that thing move. And for the intraday traders, there may actually be some breakout plays within that. If you were to get something like a pop breakout, pullback, quick entry there, maybe there's some more opportunities to look at the dollar Swiss. But for me, a big thing would be to see if we can get something like that and maybe a push up to that 93.50 level. So that's my thoughts on dollar Swiss franc. If the dollar continues to be strong, I would expect that to probably play out. So we'll have to see. But again, at this point, my trade is at break even, so I can't lose money on this. At this point, it is just a matter of, trying to see what the market gives. This time difference is killing me. Sorry, Victoria. Yeah, I know it's probably an awkward time for you. I always, whenever I have Australian we have you know, partners and people in Australia that we do stuff with, like brokerages and a couple of analysts that we work with. So it's always very difficult when you have people on that side. COT DXY bulls has not been as strong since October 2019. Is that right? You like to end up trading ranges, Trader Nick. Yes, sometimes I accidentally do. That's for sure. Dade, welcome to all newcomers. Glad to have you guys here. Please do not spam the chat or you'll be put in timeout. Enjoy the show. Thank you, Dade, for helping as always. Guys, if you're new to the show, do me a big favor. Hit that like button and hit that subscribe button. If you want more free trading content, we're literally putting as much as we can out there to try and help newer traders. And a lot of you guys who watch this stuff, you're not yet subscribed. Do me a big favor, hit that subscribe button, hit the notification bell if you want to be notified when I go live so that you can get in on some more of this trading action. So again, I really do like dollar Swiss long, but I'd like to see a breakout there. I'd like to see something like this, right? And truthfully, to Ivan's point, I end up trading ranges. It is true, but I've actually caught a good number of moves there. I don't know why it's not showing. Let me see if I can change time frames. Let's see if it will show the orders. I don't know why. Oh, there it is. Okay. So you can see them. They're kind of hard to see, but you can see the orders. So I bought here. I ended up closing out there. So it didn't have as good of a trade, but I ended up buying here. So I bought on this candle, but I've had a lot of pretty decent trades on dollar Swiss recently. I don't know why my order candles seem to be missing. Okay, here they are. Oh, it's because I was trading it back here. So yeah, I caught a lot of this move here. And, you know, honestly, when I bought in, it didn't look like a range, right? So this is the thing. It kind of looked like we were trending, pull back to a nice level. I caught it there, got into the trade. It rolled higher, but then we started entering into a range. So I'm not really afraid of a range. If when I get into it, it turns into a range. Like, for example, let's say you buy at a pullback, right? So let's say you have something like this and you're saying, okay, well, I want to get long here, right? And so you decide to buy right here. And then the market goes in your favor a little bit, but then it sort of ranges out. To me, I'm not really worried about holding this trade. I'll keep holding a range if I need to, because sometimes a market just has to think about it before ultimately, you know, fundamentals or a breakout kicks in and it actually goes in my way. So I'm not afraid to hold on to a range if I'm just swing trading. Of course, you know, if I get stopped out, then that would be a different story. I would just take a loss. But you know, if I'm sitting into a range and price is just not going anywhere, I'll still hold on to my trade. You know, I'm not going to, you know, demand the market to go right in my favor instantly. You know, I'm kind of just like willing to sit on something, especially if I fundamentally like it. So, yeah. Another bit of this trade is that it's sort of in sympathy with dollar yen. So dollar yen had this huge pop, as you guys probably know. We'll take a look at USD JPY, this massive, massive pop to the upside. I caught some of this move. So you can actually see, I'm going to look real silly here, but this is trading for you. So I ended up taking a long trade here and closing it out here. So after the rejection off this area, I basically said, hey, you know what? It's almost the weekend. I'm just going to close out my trade. And this is the reality of being a trader and also being a YouTube trader is you get to look like an idiot in front of the whole world sometimes. So I ended up buying dollar yen on a retest, right? And closing it out here. And literally the rest of the day, it just decided to have a field day. So obviously, had I held on to that, I'd look like a trading guru right now. But alas, what are you going to do? This happens, right? So either ways, I'm still bullish on dollar yen, and maybe I'll still get a chance to re-enter. So I'm not going to look at that as like, oh, I shoulda, coulda, woulda, you silly guy, you should have held on to the trade, because I know that that's the language of losing traders, right? Losing traders talk like that. Winning traders, they know what the plan is, and they may have a chance to get back in. So for me, you know, like I said, I'm still willing to take a long position on dollar yen if we get maybe some kind of a pullback. I'm not going to rush my way into anything, right? Maybe that 38.2, but I don't know. So what I did is instead, I said, okay, well, dollar Swiss, dollar yen, they tend to move generally together. So that's why I picked up dollar Swiss. So I liked dollar yen. I like the dollar bullish case in general. And I like the fact that we were sort of still showing rejection on the 4-hour candles here, right? So we were still just seeing a whole bunch of rejection. So I decided to get in there and just see if we could catch a pop. Of course, there it was. The trend did continue. And so that's where I'm at with this trade. So again, we're at break even. So worst case scenario is I don't make any money on this, or I also don't lose any money. So if we do get a pop though, if we get the move that I'm looking for, something like this, I'll hopefully be able to run some profits on that. Great point. And, Amy and I seem to be on the same page with this, that, regret is very toxic for traders. It really, really is. Like, I'm not even, I've been doing this for a long time. I've been sharing my thoughts on YouTube for a long time, and I've been trading for longer. So I know firsthand, just like I'm sure a lot of you guys know at home, that it's really tough when you're sitting there and you get played, or you feel like you got, juked by the markets or something like that. And you're like, wow, had I just held on to this, I would have made $1 million. But let's be completely honest, you guys. Shoulda, coulda, woulda bought Dogecoin, over here and sold it right here, right? You can play that game all day long, and all it's going to do is drive you crazy, right? You can sit here and say, should have bought it here, could have sold it here, would have made a bunch of money, right? It's so easy to do that it destroys traders from ever being profitable. So you have to be very, very careful with that. I think personally that that's the number one thing for me psychologically that I struggle with is, who doesn't want to be a part of those big wins? And then, you get the comments on YouTube, or comments in your head, or someone who you trade with, they sort of be like, hey, you should have known that, you should have seen this candlestick pattern, or this moving average told you this, or you knew that the fundamentals were going to tell you that, right? And it's very easy to do in hindsight, very difficult to do in actual real time. So everyone's a winning trader in their hindsight account. That's what I like to think of it as. That's a shout out to Clay Trader here on YouTube, somebody I watch and really enjoy his content. I'm a millionaire. He always says something along the lines of, I'm a millionaire in my hindsight trading account. That's so true, right? We're all bazillionaires when we know what already happened. Anyways, we'll take a quick look at Euro USD here. Still trending to the downside pretty nice here. I do like this one to the short side, but I'm not quite ready to pick up any shorts here. I would like to see this RSI sort of come back up to the overbought status. And that's not like the entry signal, but it's more just like a reading of like, okay, price is actually sort of making a move here. Because I like to sell into pops on a downtrend and buy into drops on an uptrend. That's pretty much, kind of my approach to picking up a long or short position. So I really don't have anything here. Euro USD seems to have really dried up in volatility in the last, week or so. So if we do get a pop to the upside, maybe we can get a little bit something more interesting. We can take a look at the daily chart really quick. So maybe if we were to see, for example, a bigger rally, I'll draw a fib from the low, the high to the low here. Maybe something like this could be interesting. That actually looks quite appealing. That would be much more interesting to me, because then you've got a couple different variables. You've got the overall downtrend, yes, right? You've also got a nice level of resistance here. And you've got that 38.2. Plus, fundamentally, I just like the euro short compared to the dollar. I think that for now, until further notice, the dollar is just on top. So, and obviously the market thinks so too, because you can see the market has already sold the euro significantly. So if we do get something that's a little bit of, short-term uptrend, short-term strength, counter trend for the euro, then it's possible that I could look for some kind of short in that area. Now that's kind of a ways away. So that's maybe a thing to put on the back burner, if you will. Come on, Nick, take off the indicators. Hey man, I do what works for me. I don't discriminate on what's on your chart, man. RSI is a great indicator, in my opinion. It's great for divergence. It's great for getting a quick view as to what the market is doing. You don't have to do it, but you also don't have to use moving averages. A lot of times people will say, just use a naked chart. And hey, if that works for you, then by all means do it. But I use tools just to assist in scanning quicker, right? Saying don't use an indicator is like saying, is assuming that there's only one way to make it in the markets, which, as many of you who have been around for a while, that that's not true. There's many ways to make it in the markets. So for me, using an RSI is a simple filter that I can say, hey, if this thing is printing overbought or oversold, it may be ready for a pullback. Now, I have my own rules with that. So, for example, I wouldn't just be buying something that's oversold if it's in a downtrend. Like I wouldn't buy that, right? I wouldn't buy something like this. I'd be more interested in saying, okay, well, if it's downtrending and then it pops up and then we see, a confluence there, that's just an added level of interest for me on the short side. Let me add one thing. Sometimes people will say, well, indicators are lagging, but price action quite literally is lagging as well. If you think about it for a second, all the people who are saying price action is king, there's no other, only use a naked chart. Price action is literally lagging. Let me show you what I mean. If you look at, we'll take a look at pound dollar, for example. If you're looking at pound dollar and you're looking at the 4-hour chart and you're saying, oh, okay, well, here I'm going to use this candle here. I'm going to use this candle here. These are telling me what's happening. But are they telling you what's happening now? Or are they telling you what happened in the last 4 hours? They're telling you what happened in the last 4 hours. That's lagging, right? Price action, same as indicators. Indicators are a filter of price action. So all these people who are high and mighty about indicators don't work, never use indicators, you got to remember, right? Price action itself is lagging. We as technical traders are trying to use the past to look for patterns to use in the future. So indicators are no different than price action in my view, right? So, do you think Steven is the god of trading? He has hundreds of monitors. I do like his setup. I think it's a cool setup. But again, I think that the thing is, it's just you should never, ever, in my opinion, discriminate or tell other people what they should or shouldn't do in trading, because unless if you have something that works for you, do it, chill with it, make your money, right? That's my opinion. But anyways, let's take a look at pound dollar together. Pound dollar seems to have ranged out a little bit. You've got resistance here along the tops. You've got support here. I really don't love this thing either direction right now. I think it's kind of dried up a little bit. I did like it to the short side. I took a trade there. Where was that trade? I believe I should be able to see my orders. Where's my orders? Okay, yeah. So I did short here. And then I actually closed out the trade for a small profit right there, and have since not really touched pound dollar. So back to the 4-hour chart for a second. So overall, pound dollar does seem to be trending lower, but I would really like to see, for a bearish thesis, I'd like to see kind of something like this: breakout, retest, continuation, right? Something like that, just to resume that bearish play, because we did kind of see a little bit of a breakout of this trend line. We saw some follow through, but now I'd really like to see, personally, a break of support. That would kind of be the area of like fresh interest from the sellers. So that's my thoughts. Load MT4 with no indicators and trade with that. Might as well drive with no steering wheel. Well, I'm not going to say that you can't trade without indicators either. Indicators, I'm just saying, don't treat anything like the Holy Grail. Don't think that your one indicator or your one concept is the only way to trade, right? You don't need an indicator if you know what you're doing. Well, if you don't need an indicator to know what you're doing, okay, can you drop your track record, my brother? Politely, respectfully. If you can drop a track record, I'd love to look at it. I'm not trying to call you out, but if you're telling everyone, oh, I've got the right way, you should never use an indicator. I mean, I use an indicator all the time, and I've got a track record up on the internet that you can go take a look at. So, that's the thing. I personally, I'm cautious with those sort of comments, because the thing is, when you tell that to other people who are newer to this stuff, they hear that and they're like, oh, yeah, okay. So-and-so said never use an indicator, otherwise you're a sheep. So I'm never going to use an indicator, right? But who cares what so-and-so said? Go test it, right? I have a big opinion on everything trading. When it comes to trading, I believe that you should test, don't trust. Because you have all these people on the internet who say price action is king, never use an indicator. Or some people will say, I have a magical indicator, don't ever use price action. You have all these people with their ideas, including me. I share concepts and thoughts on YouTube. What I want to encourage every single one of you guys to do, this is, the one of the key pieces of things to think about in your trading. Always test. Don't just trust something, right? Because you're going to hear people say things in markets. If you're a newer trader and you hear so-and-so tell you a tip, who are they to give you a tip, right? Do they have a track record? If so, okay, maybe that's worth, thinking more about. But more importantly is whatever you hear, go test it. Go learn how to back test and use these things. And don't just trust people blindly. It's really, really important, right? I don't know how to drop a track record, but you can check my trading. Oh, that's nothing, man. You can't drop Instagrams because then you can just show profit. I'm talking about a third-party track record, right? That's what matters is in this game is a third-party track record like myfxbook.com. I think it's BlueFX or FX Blue, one of those two is a track record. Something third-party, not an Instagram, because I could show you screenshots of $50,000 and it would just be a demo account, right? I could fake something like that. A track record is important because it shows you real results, not just what you want to show on Instagram. I'm sorry if I'm sounding triggered. I'm not mad at you, Smart King. I'm not trying to like disrespect or anything like that. I'm just more like trying to get a message across. Like whatever you hear on the internet from anybody, from a YouTube account, from my accounts, right? Instagram, whatever you're looking at, just make sure that you go spend the time to test things because indicators are not the holy grail. They're also not useless either. There are plenty of people who use them profitably. So anytime you hear somebody say, well, don't ever use this because that's not profitable, right? Who cares what they say? Go figure out what works for you, right? Yeah. So anyways, with that said, it's not profits, it's picture of charts before and after predictions. Okay, yes, but what I'm saying is that even those pictures, you choose what you show before and after, right? Instagram is not a track record. A track record is a track record done by a third-party site, not by you filtering whether it's, what you want to post or not. And I'm not saying that that's what you're doing. I'm saying the problem with like a track record of like an Instagram account, that's not actually a track record because you choose what you show on YouTube. That's why I say even trust, when you look at a YouTuber who shows, oh, I made 10 grand today. Well, maybe they didn't show you when they lost 5 grand or 10 grand or 15 grand, right? You have to be careful with that. So good lesson here. So Dade says, do not trust anyone. Learn to make your own decisions and not depend on anyone. It doesn't mean that everyone's bad. I'm not saying that everyone is bad. There's no one good in the industry. What I'm just saying is that you're better served if you take lessons that you see on the internet and you sort of go test them and apply them yourself. I think that you're just going to be better off with that mindset anyways. Let's take a look at gold here. XAU USD here is our next chart. So looking at gold, this thing does seem like the sellers are still in control. You've got all the moving averages here to the downside lined up. You've also got, just overall a pretty consistent lower high concept here, right? You've got sellers continuing to push and push lower, right? So my thought process here is that I think the path of least resistance is that if the dollar continues to be strong, I would imagine that gold drifts back down to something like 1725, which was the low of October. So just be cautious if you're bullish. I think that price action on the higher time frames does look bearish still. And so for me, the idea here is we did get the break of this counter trend, which was a big thing for sellers, but we haven't quite seen much follow through. Do we have big news coming for the dollar? I'm curious what we're looking at for this week. Let's go to the calendar. So this is this week's data. We've got CPI on Wednesday. That might be why we're seeing some low volatility on some of the or on gold, is we do have big news coming next or tomorrow. So tomorrow we have CPI, we have FOMC. So we have potentially some big dollar moving news coming. So be aware of that. That may be why a lot of times when you have big news coming, the market sort of sits there and just chops back and forth and digests. So I wouldn't expect a huge move on gold today unless there's something unexpected, some big news that drops randomly. But again, the big news seems to be coming tomorrow for gold. So expect some volatility about 24 hours from now. I guess 23 hours from now enjoying every moment. Thank you very much. Guys, today's live stream is amazing. I appreciate you guys very much for being here, by the way. If you're new to my streams, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. I hope you guys enjoyed that conversation. And again, I'm not trying to my friend Smart King, I'm really not trying to come at you, bro. Like I wasn't trying to offend you or anything like that, or call you out. I'm just saying that, if you do plan on sharing a track record, I do encourage you to go check out things like myfxbook.com. It's a great way to give analytics to track your own analytics, but also to share with others. And also the bigger point is, if you don't like indicators, hey, I respect that. If you do like indicators, I respect that too. My point is, whatever works for you is what matters. It doesn't matter what other people think. It really does matter what works for you. If you're making money and so is telling you not to use it, who cares, right? At the end of the day, it's all about, in trading, it's about sticking to something that works for you and being consistent. So yeah. So with that said, do you do mentorship just to subscribe to your channel? I don't do any private mentorship. I basically just do these live streams every day. I talk with you guys, share some concepts. So definitely encourage you to subscribe if you're new to the channel. Where's the like train? You guys want to do a like train? That would be awesome. We haven't done it in a while, so let's do a like train. This is going to be really weird to some of you guys who don't know what a like train is, but do me a big favor. Smash that like button and comment what number of a like you were. Like, were you the 50th like? Were you the 110th like? Were you the 115th like? And just drop your like. It'd be really cool. What I'm going to do is, while you do that, while you hit that like button, I'm going to draw us a quick like train. Okay. So it's been a minute. So my train drawing skills are awful, as they always have been, but we're going to draw a train here, and then we're going to, go from there. So here's our train. So we give a passenger car. There we go. How's that looking? This actually looks more like a tractor. Anyways, there's your like train, you guys. We'll give it a track going across. There's your like train. Bam. Let me know what like button you were. Appreciate you guys for being here with me. Look at that, 101, 98. Denise got that 25. Thank you very much, Denise. Beautiful. Thank you, man. I knew it was good looking. I knew it didn't look like a tractor. We could add a bucket though, and then maybe it's a like tractor today. This is more like a like tractor. Let's be completely honest. Where's Frank in the Discord group? Oh, good question. For those of you guys who are members, if you're wondering where Frank is, he's still a student. So he's finishing up school. So he is going to be just writing articles for us for right now. He's a good writer and also a great analyst as well. So he's going to be writing articles for our site, but he was going to be a little MIA for a little bit in the Discord. I'm sure he will be back at some point though. So stay tuned for that. All right, guys, you guys are the best. Thanks so much for being here. Again, all love, no disrespect to anybody in the chat. Please don't go harassing anybody. We're all friends here. We're all on the same page, and we have the same goals. We're all trying to improve as traders. So if you enjoyed this content, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and we'll see you back tomorrow.
I know you were expecting Nick, but my name's Julie and I do the real work around here. I wanted to take a second to thank you guys for watching the show and tell you more about some free content that we offer. One of the things that we offer is a free email newsletter. So if you click the link down below, you can sign up for free market analysis, trading tips, and exclusive offers. Every once in a while, someone here at A1 Trading takes a crazy trade and you'll be the first one to know about it. See you guys next time.